Hello, welcome again to the Chantal Anderson podcast. I'm so excited to have you. We meet here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we talk everything love, relationships, tapping into your feminine energy, and attracting higher quality men into your life. You know what? Let's not leave it at that. It's also about attracting higher quality people into our lives as well. Because as much as yes, we want to have those healthy relationships with a high quality man, have a partner that we can spend the rest of our lives with or build lives with and experience a different part of life with or part of happiness with. We also want to make sure that we're also building those healthy relationships with family members and at work and etc etc. So this is the place to be. Am I in a relationship? Yes, I am. Married 12 years, 5 children. That is me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we have on the topic 5 practical steps to getting out of your masculine energy. Okay. If this is it for you, I invite you to subscribe, hit the like button every time you are feeling what I have to say. And you know what? Also follow and share and spread the message to, women who 100% they are interested in this content and would find this content absolutely positively helpful because they are ready for those relationships. Perhaps maybe they got their life together, perhaps they've already made that money, they got their education, they got all these things going for them, and they're just ready to meet a high quality man, have a healthy relationship, and really share life and experience life with this partner. Make sure that you share and pass on the message, right? That's what we're here for. So today we are talking about 5 practical steps that we can use, ladies, to tap out of our masculine energy. And I thought it's so important to talk about this because there's so many women out there who are turning on to the idea of you know wanting to become more feminine. They are tired of being the strong black woman. They're super tired of it. And they're ready to fall into that feminine, activate that softer side and have a masculine man, to connect with, to share life with, to build life with, right? But they're finding that it's such an issue to move from their masculine energy into their feminine energy. There's so many obstacles. Listen, if you're listening to this on TikTok and you are feeling like, yep, I've been there, I know what you're talking about, like definitely hit the like button, let me know that this message is what you're feeling and you are all in for tonight's tonight's episode, right? Right? And I want this to be a dialect. I don't want it to just be a one-way type thing. Like this is I want to connect with you, I want to talk with you, I want to hear what you have to say. And I want to know, was this helpful? Was it not helpful? Definitely leave it in the comments below. Do you feel like we need to be talking about this more often? Absolutely leave it in the comments down below. And for sure, I will get to it. If you're watching it on TikTok, fortunately, they don't have that. But if you're watching this on YouTube, I will definitely make sure that I get to all of your comments. Okay. So, what are the reasons why? A lot of the reasons why women today are finding it super hard to tap into their masculine energy feminine energy and tap out of their masculine energy is because they've been stuck in it for so long. They have been surviving in it. They have been providing for themselves in it. They probably had to provide for other people in this energy. They have probably had to build a lifestyle, get that education, hustle, hustle, hustle. And even when it comes to climbing the corporate ladder, it gets tough, right? At workplaces, the workplace in itself is made by men, run by men, and we have so few women with high power seats in there, not enough to really make serious changes. that would make a work environment more conducive for the feminine energy. So for those who want to get that paper and who want to hustle, yeah, it's tough, right? You have to come with it, because if you are showing up, you know, it's been, coworkers, the community, the vibe, so to speak, has made women feel like if I do bring some sort of a feminine vibe to this, and I'm not going to be taken seriously. I'm not going to be taken seriously. So I have to bring in that masculine energy so that I'm respected, so that I'm appreciated for the work that I do, etc., 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 right? Um, Another reason why a lot of women are experiencing, this feminine journey to be a difficult one has a lot to do with, their father wounds, right? Childhood wounds, father wounds, mother wounds. Which have created trust issues, control issues, um, communication issues, and there's so many emotional triggers that are going off uh, in relationships, right? There's so many emotional triggers that go off when you feel you got to defend, 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 or you feel like you always got to be strong, or you always got to be right, or it's hard to be in agreement, right? It's hard to be in agreement with someone because honestly, you just want to be seen, you just want to be heard. It's hard to not compete, not to have that, you know, I'm in it to win it kind of energy when it comes to relationships and professional, both professional and personal. Just talking about it is exhausting. So it's like it's yes, it gets tough, right? What do you do when you have all those emotional triggers? What do you do when the trauma that you're experiencing is holding you back from activating that softer side and really tapping into your feminine energy? What do you do? Oh, we are talking all about it tonight. Stay tuned. Another reason for this is conditioning, especially being a black woman. I know for actual fact that growing up, we were told all the things. Don't make a man turn you into a fool. Don't make a man use you. Don't make a man shame you. Men are dogs, right? And so, whenever men do come around, there's this natural defense. There's this natural, like, heightened sense of, I need to make sure that I'm not the idiot or that I don't shame myself or shame my family, right? And there's also that conditioning that femininity is weak, which is so far from the truth. But when you've been told that and you believe that, and maybe you've seen circumstances growing up, maybe auntie was maybe wasn't the best, or mom wasn't the best, but she was soft, or she was just a naturally weak or soft woman. We would, you know, chuck that up to being feminine and then be like, "Ooh, I don't want to be like that." But that ain't feminine, ladies. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to all of this. That ain't feminine. That is just a woman who is weak. That is a woman who has a lot of stuff that she has to deal with, you know. And there's so many of us who have seen it in our aunties. We've seen it in our cousins, we've seen it in our mothers, we've seen it in the people at church, and we think, is that feminine? No, if that's femininity, I'm out. Count me out. I'm not interested, right? And that becomes a major deterrent to tapping into your feminine energy and trying to start this feminine journey, because you're tired of these, toxic relationships with these toxic men. But these beliefs, this conditioning is just in the back of your head, and it's just, limiting every time you want to feel soft, every time you want to be open, every time you want to put your wall down, every time you want to do the things, maybe be a little more girly, put on that nice dress, maybe, what do? You're like, no, 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 I'm not even, right? So the conditioning is another one. And yeah, so we said conditioning. We said, oh yes, and the people around you can also make your feminine journey almost impossible if you are surrounded by toxic individuals who are not supporting your feminine energy. What happens, right? They bring out the worst in you. They are pushing all sorts of buttons, especially if it's the man that you're in a relationship with. Ladies, if you can agree to any of these, or if any of these resonate with you, definitely click the like button. Let me know if that is something that you have experienced, that has something that has resonates with you, something that you're currently in, like you're ready for that feminine journey, but it's just tough because of all these different things that are just getting into the atmosphere. And I know that a lot, it's another big one is the unwritten rule or the unspoken ultimatum, that it's like, if you're trying to make the, 8 figures, 7, 8 figures, and you're trying to be financially free, but you find yourself like having to choose between femininity and financial freedom. It's like, if I want to make this money, then that means I gotta go for it hard. And so I can't quite be feminine, right? So that too might be another reason why it's so tough to tap into your feminine energy. But I'm here to tell you, ladies, that none of these things, none of them are reasons why, or none of them are real preventatives. Does that make sense? Um, None of them are actual things that will stop you permanently in your tracks from tapping into your feminine energy. You just have to, it's just about learning more about your feminine energy, how to tap it, how to bring it out, what suppresses it, what it looks like, so that you can truly hone it and use it to do all the things that we're looking for, right? I feel that. I have to work hard to climb the corporate ladder. It's hard to come out of it. Yes, I get it. I totally, totally get it. But with the corporate ladder and that whole work environment, it's been it's been pushed in that you have to be competitive. You have to be competitive. You have to have the upper edge. You got to be 10 steps ahead. You got to be the best, right? But that's because it's men who have climbed the corporate ladder and tell you that. It's men who climb the corporate ladder and push that down your throat. And so you think, okay, well, this man did it this way, so I gotta do it that way too. But the truth is, it's like with masculine energy, the way that we get ahead is through a competitive nature. But with your femininity, it's all about connectivity. Okay. So masculine energy is competitive, feminine energy is connective. Remember that a woman's power, and we go get into all of this, but a woman's power is is about influence. Okay. So if you ask me, between connectivity and being competitive, you're going to have a far more advantage point if you learn how to tap into that connectivity. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you're going to have to be competitive, but what we want to do is understand the differences and how they can benefit us, and then learn how to use the masculine energy, use that competitive nature for when we need it, but be able to sit in our feminine energy and thrive on a regular basis. Okay. So, okay, great. Thank you, Ebony, for sharing that. Let's get into these 5 practical steps. All right. At the end of the day, like, women want to be feminine. They want to be soft. They don't want to be have to be strong all the time. They don't want to have to carry the load all the time. Like, women everywhere are waking up and like, yo, this life just ain't for me. Maybe we saw our moms like hustling, or we've seen our aunties hustle. We've seen women around us hustle and, work 4 or 5 jobs, and maybe there's nobody at home. But now at this point, man, it's just like, not me. I know I don't. I don't want to be the strong woman. I was the strong woman in my family for a very long time. Some people would still view me as a strong woman in my family, but there are a lot of things that I have had to put down because I said, not in this lifetime. Yes. Yes, not in this lifetime. And you think that when you put it down, somehow you are losing power, that you are weakening yourself. Um, but it's the total opposite. When it's done right, when you truly understand your feminine energy, when you truly understand and do the inner work that it takes to really embrace your feminine energy, it's actually a real empowerment. Okay. When you're able to put down the unnecessary things, all the armor that we've been putting up, defending ourselves, having to prove ourselves, provide, la, 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 like just being able to be a woman, it is so empowering. So let's get into it, okay? I have put together 5 steps, 5 practical steps that you can use on your feminine journey to healthier relationships, to creating your happy ever after and attracting high quality men. Okay? 5 practical steps. Because I don't want like listen, when I was going through my journey, there was so much crap out there, people not sharing the real deal, or if they were, it's just a whole bunch of confusing information, or it's just a whole bunch of hyped up jargon, nothing that's straightforward that gives me plus one equals two, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It was always lollipops and rainbows, and it left me nowhere. And I don't think we really talk enough, us women, we don't talk enough about the struggle. We want to be in healthy relationships. We want high quality partners. We want to be in our feminine energy. Even if we're climbing the corporate ladder like Ebony, we want to be in a place where we can turn it on and turn it off, use it when we need it, and not have it use us because we need it. Okay? Use it when we need it and not the other way around. Okay? So let's get into this. The first one I would say is we have got to heal. Okay. So the way it works is that every woman, and I want to make this clear because I am a coach and I do work with women on this and I help them embrace their feminine energy, create their happy ever after, and learn how to build and attract healthier relationships with high quality partners. Um, Most people think that I'm teaching them how to be feminine. Anybody who has to teach you how to be feminine, that's not your femininity. That's not real femininity. You are a woman. You are naturally born with the feminine energy. So many of us haven't even had the chance to really tap into it, or we haven't had the opportunity um because the men in our lives didn't show up as they're supposed to. We had to prove ourselves. Some of us, we've had to raise ourselves, raise our families, whatever the reason may be. We didn't get a chance so we think that it's something outside of us. We think that it's something that belongs to somebody else. We think that it's maybe a right for other races, but for us, but of course that's so far from the truth, and I believe that we're all waking up to realize that. But femininity is not something, femininity is not something that someone literally sits and says, I'm going to teach you how to do this, and it's in this box and it looks like this for everybody. Your femininity is unique to you. You already have that within you. All I do is help you or teach you how to self heal so that you can release, so that you can embrace. Okay. So every woman is born with that feminine energy. And so what happens is it's the childhood trauma, it's the relationship trauma, the father wounds that we go through that suppress the feminine energy. Okay. The feminine energy is naturally softer, but that's where we get our strength from. That's when we're most powerful, in a softer environment, that softer energy. That's what it is. But it's almost impossible for us to be able to develop that, or even be in that, or feel safe enough to feel soft, to develop our own femininity. If what? if we do not feel protected. And so I guarantee you, for every woman who is having a struggle with her feminine energy, it started from when she was younger. And it all depends, it all was influenced by the relationship she had with her father. Okay. Christy baby, let me know what you need my advice on. That is what I'm here for. Okay, so if you found that I talk about in the program, I also talk about, the 4 P's to a father's love, how we gauge what we missed out and how we gauge what we need today and how we can incorporate that into our lives so that we can begin to heal and feel safe enough to develop our feminine energy and to embrace the women that we really want to be. And it's praise, protection, provision, and presence. Okay, those are the 4 P's, and I've done a video on this, so like after the live, if you want to kind of scroll through, you'll see it. um and so for some of us, we had a father that maybe was present, but maybe they didn't praise us. Okay, maybe they didn't protect us, and so now we feel like we got to prove ourselves. We feel like we got to be seen. We're the loudest in the group. We got to be so aggressive, right? We never got the chance to be shielded by that fatherly masculine energy so that we can create or develop our own feminine energy. So what do? We take on that masculine energy. Okay. Um my man has been giving me attitude since 3 months now. Okay. He hardly calls me. Okay. So what's the question? What's the question? I bet you already know the answer. But go ahead. What's the question? So it everything stems back from that relationship that we had in a relationship that we had with our father wounds is what I like to call them. So let's just say for example, we're floating on a body of water. Okay, and as we're floating, we can feel the sun rays coming in, we can feel the breeze, the air, we're breathing fresh air, right? And we are our most authentic selves, and because we're attached to that sun and all the nature and stuff, we're happy. And we are in our femininity, we are in our natural state of happiness. Okay, well, what happens when we develop wounds, or those father wounds, or even those mother wounds at times can contribute to it, but the father wound is the most primary. That father wound acts like a weight. And the more wounds that you endure throughout your childhood, then it's like it weighs you down, and now you're unable to float. And even when it comes to treading water, it's hard for you to tread that water because you got those weights going down. Okay, and what these wounds do is they just continue to attract the same thing, right? As you're freaking out because you're being pulled underwater. I don't want to drown. 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 Guess what? You start drowning. Christy, baby, I'm going to answer you in just a second. Okay. You don't want to drown. So what do? You end up drowning. That's what happens. Right? And it's the same thing when it comes to childhood trauma that turns into relationship trauma. We think about all the things that we don't want to feel, and we focus on the negative, we focus on the wounds, and all it does is harden us even more, put our defenses up even more, right? Gets us more aggressive, more competitive, because we are afraid to feel the pain that we once felt within our childhood, or the pain that we once felt with the first relationship we had with a man that was your father. Okay. So, what happens when we get rid of those wounds? Okay, remember, in our natural state, we were floating. In our natural state, we felt the sun, we felt the air, everything was great. We were peaceful, we were joyful, we were naturally feminine. What happens when we remove those weights? We naturally begin to float again. That is exactly what happens with your feminine energy. That is the best way I can describe it. Is that once we heal those relationship wounds, once you heal those father wounds, once you heal that baggage, that trauma, guess what? Now you're able to float back up and connect to a happier, healthier version of you, right? You're able to connect to that joy, you're able to connect to that peace, and you're able to activate your feminine energy, which is so important, ladies. That is your power source. Because with your feminine energy, that's when you start to attract everything you want into your life, be it money, career wise, be it with a man, be healthy relationships with a man, a husband one day, whether it be whether it be healthier relationships with your family, right? But we've got to heal those wounds. That's facing the pain that we've gone through. That's dealing with everything you've shoved under the rug. Everything that you said, I'm turning off the lights and I'm numbing myself down. Dealing with everything you've turned your back to, everything that you've neglected. Yeah, all of those things. You got to deal with them if you want to tap into your feminine energy. Otherwise, that femininity that you're displaying, it's very superficial. It's not about getting your nails done and looking pretty and putting on makeup. It's not about that. It's not about going to go take a bath and, soaking in like flowers and all that scented stuff. I mean, those things are great. They're benefits, they're boosters, but that's not your feminine energy. And that's not where the real power lies. That's where you'll find a lot of women who are getting their hair done, doing their makeup, doing their nails, and they think, I'm feminine, but they're powerless. They're empty. They're not fulfilled. They're not happy. Why? Because they are not dealing with the inner woman. There's two sides to you, and you have to make sure that you're dealing with both sides. You cannot just deal with the physical side and not deal with the spiritual side. You have to deal with both. Okay. All right. So Christy Baby says, I don't have peace of mind. Should I leave the relationship? I'm tired. What should I do? Um, just the fact that you're tired, just the fact that you're looking for a peace of mind, that seems like it's not the best relationship for you. So I would leave. But you have to ask yourself, what are you hanging on to? Are you hanging on to the idea of something, the promise of something, the hope of something? Okay. Realize what you're hanging on to, because you can leave a million times. If there's something that your spirit is yearning for and you think it's with him, you're going to keep going back over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. Even though you're tired, even though you don't have a peace of mind, and even though he doesn't treat you with respect. Once you figure out exactly what it is that you need, what you're looking for from this person, you empower yourself to leave and leave for good, because I guarantee you, Christy Baby, anything that you are giving, there you go. Anything that you are, anything that he is promising you, you can do for yourself. Okay? So in the fact of he promised you marriage but he's not serious about it, what does that marriage represent to you? Does it represent happiness? Does it represent fulfillment? Does it represent no longer being alone? What does that represent to you? If it's happiness, you need to learn how to make yourself happy. If it's fulfillment, you need to begin to learn how to fulfill yourself, right? If it's feeling like you're good enough, feeling like what is it? Anything it is, I guarantee you, love, you just have to take the steps to give it to yourself first. If you don't give it to yourself first, you will have a hell of a time trying to find somebody else to give it to you. See, we think that, we stay in these relationships and we invest all this time because we're waiting for that happy ever after. But what you don't realize is a man cannot give you your happy ever after. He can only support and build on it. Period. Okay? He doesn't even have access. If you think about it logically, how can somebody make you happy? He doesn't have access to your emotions. He doesn't know what you're feeling. He doesn't know what you've gone through. He doesn't know your experiences. Hell, if you don't even know, how can he possibly do it for you? Instead, we got to figure out what happy means for us first. Once we understand what happy means for us first, then we at that point we've certified ourselves, for that happiness, for the love that we need. Now we can go ahead and use that information to qualify somebody else to give us the love that we need. Qualify somebody else support the love that we need and to support the happiness that we need. Okay? So you've got some work to do, my love. And I'm giving it to you as straight as I can, but I'm giving it to you with love because let me tell you, I was there too. Frustrated, 7-year relationship, on and off, emotionally draining, who also promised marriage, 7 years of my life, okay? Who also promised marriage. What I'm telling you in this thing, what I'm sharing with you today, I had to realize that this man is not going to validate me. He's not going to make me his wife. That if you realize that the same patterns are happening over and over and over again, it means that things are not going to change. That's what a pattern is. A pattern is something that doesn't change. I had to figure out, okay, it's time to make myself happy. That's what I'm doing for me now because I've been pouring myself up in these relationships and getting nothing back. And I damn it if I'm going to be miserable in my life. I only live once. I need to make myself happy. Once I figured that out within less than 3 months, everything I'm teaching you right now in this life, less than 3 months, I attracted my high value husband, my high quality husband who loves me greater than life itself. Okay. And he couldn't make me happy. I had to make myself happy, and now he can build on that. Okay. We can build on it for each other. That's how it works. So you haven't yet found your happy ever after, Christy baby. Okay, wonderful. You haven't found it yet. And until you take the time to find out what that is for you, until you take the time to learn how to self love, you cannot qualify someone else to love you. And you will keep picking up the wrong ones. Okay. And keep having these toxic relationships. So if you're serious, I suggest you click the link in the bio because who wants to waste 5, 10, 15 years trying to figure it out and not even realizing what you're doing? It's exhausting. Get the step proven step by step. I wish I had this when I was going through what I went through. Click the link in the bio, schedule a consultation. You and I talk one on one. I'll figure out where you are, where you're looking to go, and how the healthy relationship remedy can help you get there. Okay. All right. I hope to talk to you. If we don't talk, the best of luck to you. Definitely stick around for content and these lives where we can have conversations. Okay. But if you want to make a change, if you want change, you gotta make that change. Okay, great. So as I was saying, like, yeah, it's those father wounds. So we got to get rid of those father wounds so their feminine energy can rise back to the top. Okay. Because it's so important. That's where our power lies. Our feminine energy is, yeah, that's the source. That's our power source. For women, our power is the power of influence. Okay. So healing those father wounds. Now, of course, I just finished talking about the healthy relationship remedy. In the program, I teach you how to do exactly that with the 3P method. It's called pain, problem, and permission, where it takes you through a structured guide. Okay. This is what I wish I had. When I was going through my crap, that 7-year emotionally draining, on and off, dead end relationship, and I didn't have anybody to share with me, how do I sort through these emotions? How do I not go crazy? How does it not overwhelm me? How does it not consume me? Like, oh my gosh, having a structured guide, something I can say, okay, I've done this, boom, I've done that, boom, I've done this, boom, and actually have a transformation, actually have an outcome. Man, what I wouldn't have done to get myself in that program, because it can feel like you're losing your mind sometimes. It can actually feel like you're losing your mind sometimes. So I'm going to give you guys, tips for both. Healthy relationship remedy, that's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, it's going to save you energy. Click the link in the bio for that. But if we're just like, I want something I can do on my own, I'm going to say to you, it's all about journaling. Oh, ladies, journaling is powerful. And I think I'm going to do a course on that anyway. But journaling is absolutely powerful. We're just not using it enough. When you sit down and you write out, you're able to access and write your emotions out. you know your emotions are like the car signals in your car. So the lights tell you what's going on the inside of the vehicle, the part that you can't see. That's what your emotions do. They tell you what's going on the inside, the part that you can't see. Okay. um It's like when you're able to get them out, it's so much easier to understand what's going on and what you need to do. So the problem is that so many of us just journal everything, just blah, all on the paper, and then we don't go back, we don't look at it, we don't do anything with it. And so the problem never gets solved, and you feel great for 5 minutes, but 15 minutes down the line, you're just like, I feel like this again. Okay. So what I would suggest is journal for healing or journal healing. So find yourself a book. And I teach this in my course too about, I'm avid in journaling. Grab yourself a book, get a book that you're excited about, get a book that you want to write in, get a book that gets you excited. You open it up, you feel amazing, that's going to motivate you. You open up the book and you at least once a day, I like to tell the ladies in my group twice a day, but at least once a day, you write in that journal how you are feeling and what is going on, okay, with you at that time. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel awkward. Remember, this is something that is practice and you have to be consistent with it. So just, I feel this. I don't care if it's one word. I don't care if it's two word. Get something on that page, okay? Once you do that, you consistently, you will find that each day you're going to be writing more and more and more and more and more until you just open up the floodgates and everything starts pouring through. Don't be surprised if all these emotions go through you. Don't be surprised if you're crying. Don't be surprised if don't be surprised if you're feeling tired. That's good. We want to get this out. After you feel like you've gone through all the emotions and you've gotten everything out, I want you to go back to that journal and read what you wrote. It is going to be eye opening. You are going to be seeing things that you didn't even know you were feeling. You're going to be seeing things that you didn't even know that were there. You're going to be seeing things that you didn't even, I'm telling you, it's a life changer. Okay. I call it Journal for Healing. If you are watching this on YouTube, definitely comment down below if that's something you'd be interested in learning more about. Because I have been thinking about doing a course on that, because a mini course on that is really powerful. I know for me in my journey, that's what I've done. And for the ladies that I've worked with, they found that the journaling to be very, very helpful and eye-opening. But you have to do it a particular way. It is not enough to simply vomit everything on the page and never return. You have to go back and see what's happening. Okay. So the second thing I'm going to share with you ladies that is so like tough when it comes to your feminine journey. This is a huge obstacle. If you are not focused, if you are not aware, it can be a huge obstacle in getting out of your masculine energy and into your feminine energy so that you can have healthier relationships, attract higher quality men, and just be able to find your happy ever after. I would say is building a healthy self relationship with yourself. Okay, getting to know who you are. That's huge, right? Because your femininity is unique to you. And if you continue to just follow what everybody else is telling you to do, you will never embrace the results or the transformations that you are after. We're hearing, oh, I was in my feminine energy and I got this healthy relationship. I was in my feminine energy. I attracted my husband. I was in my feminine energy and I attracted this money, and I was in my feminine energy and I felt so connected. I feel so happy. You're not going to get there if you're just following a cookie cutter. You have to get to know who you are on the inside, okay? Before you can begin to even discover what your feminine style is, what your femininity identity is. Hit the like button if you're following me. You understand what I'm saying. You get my drift. All right. If we're not taking a second to learn about who we are first and what do we even like, what's going on, so many of us have numbed ourselves down because of all the trauma we've gone through, because of the surviving that we're in. We're trying to make, thank you for the likes. We're trying to make ends meet. We're trying to live a certain life. We want to be in certain relationships. So maybe we're putting up with all these things. We've completely numbed ourselves. We've completely neglected ourselves. And we're used to putting other people before us. You can't do that. We can't do that and expect to be in our feminine energy. You can't do that and expect to get to know. You can't. You just can't do that. You can't do that, right? You have to operate both ends. And I also like to bring up the car situation because it's like this: like you get into the vehicle, right? The car too has two sides to it. It has the part that you can see and the part that you can't see, but you need to operate both in order to get to your destination. Am I right? Great. Keep bringing those hearts in. Keep give me those right, because when you guys put in those likes, it lets everybody else know they need to chime into this message. Okay. So it's like that. So, in that car, you have the physical part. You drive the wheel, you put the sticks, all these things, or you can, we all know, okay? But the inside, the things that we cannot see, it's so imperative to operating this vehicle. If you can't see the engine light, what's going to happen? Thank you for all those likes. Keep them coming. If you can't see the gas tank to see that it's empty, what's going to happen? It's going to stop you from getting to your destination. Ladies, it is the same thing with yourself. You cannot just operate the physical. You cannot just throw on makeup. You can't just get your hair done and go to the nail salon and just soak in a tub and be like, I'm going to reap all the results or all the rewards of my feminine energy. There is a whole other side to you that you need to be paying attention to. Okay. And in the healthy relationship remedy, we use the gardening method. Okay. 3 parts to it. We got the weeding and the seeding. We got the water and grow, and we got the strengthen and repeat. Okay. Basically, what it is it's using the analogy of gardening, or yeah, gardening the soil to explain how one can garden the spirit, how one can cultivate their feminine energy. You know, Weeding and seeding is all about pulling up those weeds. And if we're connecting it to our spiritual end, those weeds are like the trauma. Okay. We got to pull up those weeds by the root. Why? Otherwise, they're going to suck all the nutrients out and nothing else can grow. There's nothing else that can be fruitful, right? Same thing with the trauma, ladies. If we don't get rid of that baggage, it's going to stop you from having healthy relationships. It's going to stop you from finding your happy ever after. And it's going to stop you from attracting healthy men, right? Okay, so it teaches you how to do that. And then you have the water and grow, right? We got to shower it with love, sunlight. Sorry, water, sunlight. These are, we're talking about if we want to cultivate that soil, it needs the water, it needs the sunlight. Well, that's equivalent to you self loving, right? And making sure that you are self loving in a way that's going to cultivate growth, in a way that's going to allow you to tap into your feminine energy, in a way that's going to give you a blueprint on exactly what kind of love you need from a partner. If you don't certify yourself, then you can't qualify someone else. If you don't certify yourself on how to love yourself, how are you supposed to qualify someone else to love you? Love is not general. It's not a box that everybody just fits into. Everybody needs to be loved differently. You guys know about the love languages. Hit the like button if you know about those love languages, right? Like it's everybody is loved differently. I gotta take off that watch. It's like bothering my arm. Right? Everybody loves differently. So you got to figure that stuff out. If you want, it's all about understanding your emotions and what your emotions are saying at what time. And, because the hardest time people complain about communicating in relationships, but what's difficult about communicating in relationships is just not knowing what to say. I know I'm upset. I know I'm hurt. I know I'm angry, but why? I don't know. Because we're not paying attention to the signs. We're not paying attention to what we're feeling. We're not paying attention to what's happening. We're not getting to know the inner woman. Okay. And then the third part of the program, or the gardening method, is strengthen and grow. You see, once you learn how to self love and you've tapped into your feminine energy, you found your happy ever after. That's what it is, right? Now you're thriving in life, but now we got to protect it. Boundaries, not walls, learning how to build boundaries. And all of this is taught in a very easy structural system. It almost operates like a checklist where you can go through and understand it in layman terms. One plus one equals two, right? Two plus two equals four. Very straightforward. No fancy jargon. No, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. We just need to understand what we need to do to get to where we need to go. And that's what the healthy relationship remedy does. Okay. So if we're looking to overcome that obstacle of, building that healthy relationship with ourselves, self-loving, really building on our emotional intelligence and understanding, the healthy relationship remedy has got you covered. And like I said, I'm going to be giving you two different options, one with the program and one on your own. So click the link in the bio if the healthy relationship sounds like that's one for you, and schedule a consultation. You and I will talk. Okay. On your own, if you're looking to build a healthy relationship, this is all about self discovery. And again, this is where the journaling can come in as well. Getting to know what you like, what gets you excited, right? Um, what doesn't get you excited? What puts you in a bad mood? What puts you in a good mood? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel energized? We have this exercise I also teach in the healthy relationship remedy, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Um, complementary. um and it's basically this: imagine a list that you had to do, and it was like so long from here to Timbuktu. You're super, super sad. You're in your depressed mode, and just thinking about it drains you. Well, you have this activity that you do, this passion, this skill, this talent that you can tap into. And when you evoke it, it gives you so much energy, right? That you can take that list, you can do it in like what would have taken you hours to do, it'll take you minutes to do. And you're still, even after it's done, you still feel phenomenal. Ladies, call those energy boosters. We need to find these energy boosters. Okay. The more you discover about yourself is the more energy boosters you find is the more that you will discover about yourself. Okay. In terms of building healthy relationships. So important, right? Um, yeah, that's so important, right? So we want to be taking advantage of those and learning about them, because when we can take a boost of our energy and make ourselves feel that much more powerful, that much more accomplished, that much more confident, then we can look for ways to stay there, right? But you first got to do that self-discovery work. Okay. Self-discovery work. Let's figure out what those energy boosters are. And those things are great for increasing your happiness and decreasing stress and anxiety. Okay. For me, it's singing. I love to sing. I love cooking meals that I want to cook. That's also an energy booster. Resetting my home, that's also another energy booster. you know and I get to learn about myself. So, clearly, if I put together singing, if I put together resetting my home, if I put together cooking, then that means I'm a creative person. I'm a creative individual. I like to do artistic things. Well, then I know I'm going to more lean more into the arts. I'm going to lean more into things that use your imagination. I'm going to lean more into things that, et cetera, that fall under that umbrella. And I know, okay, I'm getting to a place where I'm more happier. I'm getting to a place where I'm thriving, right? And if I stumble somewhere and I feel like I don't feel like doing this, or something's blocking me, I know that that's probably a wound, an old wound that I need to heal. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. Listen, keep those likes coming. They let me know that you guys are on the same page and you're understanding me, getting me, and this is helpful. Okay, so the third thing that I would like to say to you ladies, to share with you ladies, that'll help you move from your masculine energy into your feminine energy so that you can find your happy ever after, tap into your feminine energy. Yeah, of course. And, attract healthier relationships and higher quality men is to focus on what makes you happy, right? Which is basically what I was saying. At first, we got to discover who we are, and then we discover things that make us feel alive, things that make us feel connected, where we're getting to know more about ourselves. We also need to start focusing on that. Why? Because when we feel happy, we feel safe. When we feel happy, we feel safe. And when we feel safe, we evolve. Okay? I'll say it again. When we are happy, we feel safe. When we are safe, we evolve. We grow into the next level selves. If we don't feel safe, then we don't get to evolve. And that is the reason why so many of us are stuck in our masculine energy, because we don't feel safe to proceed. We don't feel safe to take the next step forward. We don't feel safe to try something new. Happier you feel, the safer you are, the more likely you are, the easier it is to take a step forward and to really um, dive into that feminine journey, ladies. We can't dive in when we're hesitant. We can't dive in when we're resistant. We cannot dive in when we don't feel safe. Okay? So focusing on that happy. Once we've done the self-discovery and we realize, okay, I'm more of an artistic person, or I'm more of a playful fun. I like to do dancing, whatever, and we lean into that, then we really have to begin implementing everyday things that's going to continue to make us happy. Okay? Focusing on our happy. And it's like I love how these steps are working together. I didn't really pay attention to this part of it, but the steps are working together and they're actually paving the way for the next one. All right? Which the next one is tapping into your feminine energy, ladies. When you are happy and you feel safe and you get to evolve, what are you evolving into? Right? You are becoming the woman that you know that you are. You are letting her shine. You are tapping into your feminine energy. If we don't feel safe, ladies, we will never go soft. We can't be soft if we don't feel safe, right? If we don't feel safe, we're not going to be soft. That's just what it is, right? Men talk about submission. Most of the time we don't it's in our nature to submit. It's actually a high to submit. I love submitting to my husband, right? It's a high that you get when you're submitting. Um but if I don't feel safe, I can't do it. If nobody feels safe, we can do. Women naturally would like to be in that place. When we say, I want to be soft, I don't want to be strong anymore. I want a man who, can, I want a man who can, be in his masculine energy and take lead. What do we do when you naturally submit? If someone else is taking lead, you're naturally submitting. You're allowing him to make the direction, to pave the way. That's what you're doing, right? We naturally want that. But if we don't feel safe, then we're unable to be soft. So the happier you are, is the safer you feel. The safer you feel is the more you evolve. And when you're evolving, you are evolving into your feminine energy, or you're tapping into your feminine energy. You're embracing your feminine energy. You are moving towards your feminine energy. When you are in your feminine energy, ladies, you are activating your power as a woman, which is influence. You are bringing to you, the law of attraction is real. You are bringing to you the relationships that you desire, the man that you desire, the people that you desire to have around you. You are bringing to you, um, you're making connections instead of competing in the workplace. You're now connecting in the workplace, which is so much more powerful. When you connect with someone that makes, when you connect with the people who you need to connect with to make things work, they feel loyal. There's a loyalty there, right? I have to go with this person because we made an emotional connection, right? On a deeper level, I'm not talking superficial. Yes, my podcast is linked in my bio. Yes, absolutely. So, when we hit that feminine energy part, that is when we're most powerful, ladies. So we need to focus on being happier so we can feel safer. And I told you about some of the ways that we can do that so we can tap into that feminine energy. Okay, so again, the healthy relationship remedy teaches you that in the gardening method. It covers that in the gardening method because we're talking about cultivating the soil like you cultivate your spirit. And your spirit, when I say spirit, it's that inner you, the inner woman, right? So if you're cultivating the soil to bring forth and bear fruit, right, that can nourish and feed, which is so powerful, you're also learning, you're using those examples to learn how you can cultivate your spirit to bring forth that feminine energy, right? The thing that can nourish so much and it's so empower, it's so powerful, right? It's so powerful. All right. So that is number 4. And number 5, okay, is building boundaries. Okay. Building boundaries around what is thriving, not around what is trying to survive, not around anger, not around pain. That is called putting up walls. We are not trying to put walls up, ladies, because they are tiring and they drain us and they take too much to, to source, way too much. Anybody got no time for that? We don't have time for that. We want to build boundaries. Okay. So now that we've healed father wounds, let's go through them quickly and I'm going to share with you exactly how the boundaries work. Now that we've gone through the healing the father wounds, we've gone through self-discovery, okay, through building a healthy self relationship with yourself first, okay, because you got to certify yourself before you can qualify someone else. You got to certify yourself in your own happiness before you can qualify someone else to support your happiness, okay? You've got to focus on what makes you happy, because when we feel happy, we feel safe. And when we feel safe, we naturally evolve, right? And the fourth one is obviously evolving into our feminine energy. Okay. That is where we're most powerful. And that's where we get the fulfillment. That is where we get the healthy relationships. That is where we attract the higher quality men. That is where we attract to us the things that we desire in this life. And yeah, we making mountains move in that feminine energy. Okay. Now that we've set all that up, we have to protect it, right? And that is where boundaries come into play. The hard thing about boundaries is that I find that they don't stick because we don't understand why we're doing a boundary. Most people don't really know how to put boundaries together. They just follow what people tell them to do. Oh, you should know to do this. Oh, you should know to do that. Oh, you should know to do this. You should know to do that. Or not to do this or not to do that. Or how could you do, or how could you allow this, or how could you allow that? The truth is, at the end of the day, like, boundaries, they stick when you understand what they're protecting. If you don't understand what they're protecting, then those boundaries will fall like, like a domino effect. Okay. And what we end up putting up is walls instead. Let me tell you the difference between boundaries and walls. Walls, they come from a place of anger, pain, and resentment. We do not want to feel anger, pain, and resentment. Again, so we put those walls up. But in order to keep them up, we need to continue to relive the pain, the anger, and the resentment. These walls come from such a negative place. They just trap you in like a box. There's no place for you to grow. You are not growing, you are stagnated. And if you're not growing, if you're not growing, you're not living, means you're slowly dying. Okay. And that's exactly what it is. Walls will suffocate you, walls will starve you, spiritually starve you. Walls will keep out the people that are good for you, and they will keep the people who are toxic knocking on your door. Okay. We don't want walls. Ladies, if you understand what I'm saying, let me know. I want you to type in there, do not want walls. We don't want walls. Type that in the comments if you understand what I'm saying, if you're following me. And give me some hearts. You guys went quiet on me. Give me some hearts. Okay? We don't want walls. Instead, what we want are boundaries. We want boundaries because boundaries come from a place of understanding. Okay? I understand that singing twice a day, this is just an example, singing twice a day keeps me happy and energetic. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that I create boundaries that are going to enable me to sing twice a day. If that means changing up my schedule, if that means changing my environment, the people that are around me, and why am I going to go through all that trouble to make sure that I can sing twice a day? Because I feel so freaking good. I feel so freaking high, okay, on happiness, that I now know. And when I don't have that, like, I'm in and out of depression, I'm neglecting myself, I'm tired, I have negative thoughts, self-doubt seeps in, my confidence takes a hit. When those things happen, now we understand the value of having that opportunity to sing twice a day. I know that if I don't have it, this is how I'm going to suffer. I know if I do have it, this is how I'm going to win. Okay. So now I understand the value. I don't want to go there. I want to continue to feel this happiness, this peace, this joy. So now we put those boundaries in place and they stick. Okay. Now your boundaries are going to be different for every person. It's going to be different for every person. It's not going to be the same, because your femininity is not the same, because the way that you're loved is not the same, because who you are as a person is not the same, who you are as a woman is not the same. So everybody's going to have their set of things that is different. Okay. In the healthy relationship remedy, we go through all these things. It's simple. I make it simple so that it's easy to get the transformation that you want, as long as you are following through with the lessons. As long as you're showing up and following through and making the time for yourself, it's easy to get the transformation of masculine to feminine, from toxic relationships to healthy relationships, from feeling empty, sad, or not good enough, or fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, to feeling full, finding your happy ever after, right? It's easy, it's simple, it's clear, like 1 + 1 = 2. I wish I had this when I was growing up. Um, oh no, it's just on YouTube for now. It's just on YouTube. So, you know, when it comes to the healthy relationship remedy, um, it's so important. Like, it's so important. It's so important that I make sure that the women that I'm working with are the women who are ready for this, the women who are, serious about this, who have the right mindset, who have the right attitude, and who are looking for real results, not something that are superficial, because the healthy relationship remedy works. So when you put those two people together, well, you get amazing transformations. And again, the link is in the bio. Okay. If you're just like, I like an option where I can do this on my own, create boundaries, then you need to build off of what you've discovered about, what makes you happy, what you've discovered about your feminine energy, and how you what your feminine identity is. Okay. Once you understand the things that keep you thriving in your feminine energy, the things that keep you happy, once you understand how you are loved as an individual, as a woman, then you can begin to put up boundaries that will protect it, that will support it. You'll say to yourself, okay, well, how can if I know that a huge act of love for me is acts of service, well, then how can I build a boundary around that? Okay. Well, I'm going to make sure that, I'm constantly doing things for myself. I'm constantly making time for myself. Absolutely. I'm going to allow myself to get the help if I need help. Okay. Those things make me feel loved. They make me feel valued. In a relationship, these are the things that, of course, I'm going to expect. Okay. I'm going to make sure that before I decide to step into a relationship with a man, that of course, he's the act of service type of love kind of guy. I'm not going to get into a relationship with someone who is about, I don't know, words of affirmation if I need acts of service. right? It's just about setting up boundaries around the things that help you to thrive, right? And in order to do that, you got to understand. Okay. So, ladies, if you're in your masculine energy and you are tired and you're like, I am on this feminine energy journey. I want to tap into my femininity. I want to feel softer. I'm so tired of being strong. I'm so tired of carrying the weight of my world around my shoulders. I'm so tired of having to be masculine in my relationships just to carry them, just to make them work. I'm so tired of toxic men, feminine men. I'm so tired, tired, tired. And I want to be in my feminine. I want to spend years in my feminine energy. I want to spend my time in my feminine energy. I want to spend my time in healthy relationships. I want to spend my energy with, a high quality man and having high quality people around me. I want to spend time loving myself, right? And having that healthy self relationship with myself. I want to find my happy ever after. I'm tired of feeling empty. I'm tired of feeling like I'm not good enough. I'm tired of fearing things and always having to be defensive, aggressive, or competitive. And I want to be able to just relax in my feminine energy. Ladies, I encourage you. The Healthy Relationship Remedy is the program that you are looking for. What makes it different is that it's straightforward. Okay? It's straightforward. There is no fluff, there is no lollipops and gun jumps. If you heard me today, if everything I was saying today resonated with you, then you're going to be wowed when you get into the program. The things that I'm teaching you last you a long time, lifetime. It's not about helping you solve it today so that you can come back tomorrow. Everything I teach you, it's self oriented so that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you're going to have these tools that'll help you manage your feminine energy, right? Create healthy relationships that'll lead into healthy marriages, attract a healthy partner, and not how to deal with toxic people anymore. Learn how to manage the people in your life who are toxic. Ugh! Like, who has time for that? Right? And truly find your happy ever after. Like, because nobody can bring it to you and nobody can make it for you. Right? Nobody can do that. And if you're after these things, then staying in your masculine energy is always going to be a struggle to get there. But when you're in your feminine energy and you've learned how to maintain, how to strengthen your feminine energy, how to make it more potent, how to, self love and build self worth and self confidence, well, now that's a different story. Things come effortlessly, effortlessly. For me, 7-year relationship on and off. In between those relationships, dated other men. I was in my masculine energy. I thought that love had to be earned. I thought that the only way that I didn't realize that I was looking for men to get into relation. When I would think about getting into a relationship with a man, I would consider, how can I fix his life? How can I be of value, thinking that I'm valued for what I do and not who I am. Okay. And it wasn't until I made the switch from understanding that love isn't earned, it's a choice, and someone's gonna have to give it to you. And I'm choosing to give it to myself. That happy ever after, it doesn't come after the man. It's supposed to come before, and then you find a man who can suit your happy ever after. Once I learned those things, I shined differently and I attracted my husband in less than 3 months. We were married in 10 months. No, I'm sorry, we were engaged in 10 months and we got married, I think it was a year and some afterwards, I'm pretty sure. But it's like, yeah, all those things wouldn't have happened if I didn't make those changes, if I didn't do the work here. It wasn't enough to do the work on the outside, it had to be done on the inside too. And like, who wants to spend time trying to figure it out all on their own? Like, if you've been here 5, 10, 15 years and you've been trying to figure this out and you still haven't, there's something you're not seeing. You don't have the steps, you don't have the knowledge. So you have to make this happen. You have to say enough is enough. You got to put yourself first. You have to invest in your own well-being. You have to say I am valuable, I am worth it. And you got to go click that link in the bio, schedule a consultation one-on-one with me. right? We will just sit down, we'll talk, we'll find out, where you're going, where you're at, and how we can get you to where you want to go. Okay? Ladies, it's been a slice. I'm here every Tuesday live on YouTube. The link is in the bio if you'd like to subscribe to the channel. I'm here every Tuesday, 8:30 at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I can't listen. If I get the opportunity to work with you, if I get the opportunity to speak with you, and we work together, wonderful. I'm so happy to work with you. If we do not get the chance, if you do not book your consultation and we do not get the chance to work together, then I still wish you the best of luck. I urge you to stay close to the page, take in the content, make sure you're here on the lives so that you can still facilitate transformation in your life. Okay. It might take a little longer, but the whole point is that you get there. That is the point. You only live once. So you got to make it happen. Until then, see you later. It was great talking to you. Have a great night.